Ray, I have a saying that you never know who you're going to run into when you're making your way through the life and times of the
Hmm.
great sport of hockey. And this is a thrill for me to talk to you, Ray Shero. I feel like I know you. We have a connection though, and I'm really happy that we can do this today. Thanks for joining me.
It's my pleasure, Todd. And honestly, I think we do have a connection. But I've watched you for a long number of years, and I didn't know you're from Rochester, New York, and the history of the Rochester Americans. But you're a true and true hockey guy, and real benefactor, and real beneficially. It's amazing for the Coyotes and the fans and everything that you've done there. It's really my honor to do this with you.
Well, that's unbelievable to say, and I feel
Mhm.
the same about you. And obviously,
Mhm.
the connection that we have is the history of your father and your Hall of Fame father, the late great Ray Shero. And I want to get to some specifics in a moment, but you and I first connected in April of last year
Mhm.
after the Coyotes' final game. I got a chance to say goodbye, and I used one of your father's famous quotes. I'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
Um, but I still have your text because I wanted you to know what I had done and why I did it and the sentiment behind it. And I have saved your response. I will never go.
Wow.
Because sometimes, Ray, when you do what I do for a living, you speak to masses, but you also speak to sometimes just one person.
Hmm.
I felt like I was talking to your dad, and
Wow.
you're as close to that, and it
Yes.
mattered to me. And I'm so happy that you saw it.
Yeah, oh, and when I saw it, I mean, I don't know if I was the first to see it, but I got so many text messages from people in the industry or friends saying, "Hey, have you seen this?" I'm like, "I have seen it," and I just thought it was. I mean, it was from the heart, and when did they walk together forever? That was something else, but it was a very emotional time, you know, in Arizona, and the Coyote fans and longtime Coyote fans, hockey fans, and it was devastating, and it just happened so quickly. But the way you handled it, and other people, you in particular, I thought it was just really just amazing tribute to the fans and what's transpired and the people that were affected and have been affected. So kudos to you.
Well, it was easy to do that way because of the power of those words, and I'm going to
Yeah,
get to why we're talking today, but I just love the fact that I have a venue to talk about
yeah,
that phrase. We win today, we walk together forever. And truth be told, I just watched your father's Hall of Fame speech that you gave.
yeah.
You waited until the ninth minute,
Oh,
final
wow.
speech. I was way, I know he's going there. You did a fantastic job, but
Thank you.
you identified the date, May 19th, 1974, prior to Game 6, Philadelphia Flyers. The first team I ever remember as a kid, by the way. I was 10 years old.
Really?
They were the Cats Meow.
Oh, jeez.
So what do you know that we don't know about why he wrote what he wrote? Can you tell me any kind of a background story to that?
I really don't have a background to it, but I wish I trademarked that
Yes.
saying for sure. And but it's really amazing because that was in Philadelphia, 1974, playing against the heavily favored Boston Bruins. The Philadelphia Flyers became, May 19th, 1974, the first expansion team to win a Stanley Cup, and that was on home ice. And I was 12 years old at the time, and I was always around and in the locker room. And when I wasn't that day, it was an afternoon game. I'll never forget it. But seeing that quote and really how it resonated since that day, and it still resonates to this day, obviously. But at the same time, in the city of Philadelphia, that was a city of losers. That city, it's blue collar, um, really just embraced the Broad Street Bullies, which was the name they were coined, and so many of those players, because of that, it's easy to say, when do they walk together forever? And they have walked together forever because not many, probably none of them ever left. Like even the summer times, they stayed around and contributed to the community and did things and things like that. But they had that bond, and they still do to this day. From 1974, that's been 50 years or something or whatever. But the Flyers and what he wrote certainly probably meant something that day, but almost every day moving forward has meant more because of, as people get older and people have passed away, and but still they have walked together forever, and so have the people of Philadelphia and the fans and the Flyer fans worldwide. That even the Flyer haters at some point, which there are many of those, they, certainly know that saying. And, and fortunately, if my father were still alive today, I'm sure he'd be very, very happy that other people in many walks of life have used this saying and different forms. And I think that's really what it's really meant to people, and it's really meant to the city of Philadelphia and the Philadelphia Flyer players and their families.
Well, I've plagiarized it. I just saw an old interview with Dave Schultz, who said I
Mhm.
wrote down and saved every single one of his sayings because your dad. I love what Bobby Clark said in eulogizing your dad, saying he was complex yet simple, but shy and loved an audience. I can so
Mhm.
relate,
Yeah.
which is why I've applied that phrase to every single sport I cover. I've covered
Mhm.
everything under the sun, and it
Mhm.
just works. You don't, and to me now, it's become more than just a championship team.
Mhm.
It's about team.
Yeah.
It's about family, and it's about the commonality of that experience. Would you agree with that?
100%, and that's actually well said. And it is. It's certainly about that. Um, and again, it's amazing that from May 19th, 1974, that how this has gone, and we're talking about this today, but what it means and how you can apply it to different situations in life. Um, and I think as a team, a family, and it's certainly, I think it is a bit different now anyway, but back then, when today walk together forever, and that those players and their families certainly have from the Flyer days. And but now it's in sports, it's different with free agency, things like that. There's championships every year, we know that, but I'm not sure it's the same thing. And so I think it's a special thing. And I don't know. I wish I could ask my dad how he came up with that, because he had sayings all the time on the blackboard, and different messages to players, and he would leave little notes in their before practice, like guys would be putting on their equipment, and all of a sudden there's a note in their glove. What I mean, my dad would give him a note. I mean, that this day and age probably get you fired or something like that. So I might just bring the guy to the office, but that was his way sometime of communicating to players.
Sure.
Um, and it was always about team. It was always about um, you know the coaching staff and the players, and it was them really against the NHL at some points, because how they were portrayed at some points. But with certainly a number of Hall of Famers in those teams, that they certainly could play hockey, and they certainly did it well.
Well, I buried the lead. The reason that I'm talking to you
Mhm.
is of a project that I was asked to be a part of, and it's high school hockey here in Arizona, trying to drum up interest, put some eyeballs on their
Mhm.
championship game for first at Mullett Arena. And they approached me and said, "Look, we want to use your voice. We have a commercial that we're putting together." And um, I wasn't sure where they were going to go with that. And then I saw the script, and
Mhm.
they told me, Ray, that it was an extension of my farewell to the Coyotes. And the first line is, "We
Mhm.
walk together forever." I sent you
Yeah.
a copy of it.
Yeah.
Um, I got chills looking at the final product. I'm
Mhm.
just so proud that once again, your father rides again. How cool is that?
I think that's awesome. I appreciate that very much. And because I have two boys, and they're in the industry actually. One scouts for Philadelphia, one scouts for Columbus, and they never had the opportunity to meet their grandfather. So anytime they see stuff like this or whatever, like it's a proud moment for them, as it is for the entire family. And I really think that's awesome. And how you look at it, I think that's really great.
So with that, in that spirit, I just want you're a lifer in the game of hockey.
Yeah.
It's in your DNA.
Hmm.
What would you say to these kids that are going to play in this game? Because it might be the last big game they ever play in.
Hmm.
They do win, and even if they don't, I'm sorry, but they're going to walk together forever in this shared moment, this team. What would you say to these kids about how they should approach this game and how they feel about it?
No regrets at all. And that was what Mary Lemieux actually said to us in Pittsburgh before Game 7 Detroit in 2009. No regrets. We'll be at center ice. And, you know, this is, it's a big, big, big deal now. And, years from now, it might not be, but I know one thing, they'll always remember it, whether they win or lose. And the friendships and the camaraderie and the being part of something and being part of a team, and the fan support and their school and the pride, and this carries over in everyday life. And I think that is really great, and life lessons, because one team's going to win, one team's going to lose, but there is a bond and a team. and a resiliency that you formed to get to that point to begin with. And I just think it, certainly walking together forever, win or lose, is those bonds and friendships that hopefully you're going to have forever. And that's usually the case, win or lose. But I think it's a great opportunity for all the students and student athletes to contribute and really enjoy that moment.
Well, Ray, I'm just proud to be able to talk to you about that. And our other effort with this is just to show everybody that hockey is alive and well in Arizona. Yet NHL head has been cut off.
Mm-hmm.
There's unbelievable hockey at every level. There's a Division I team at ASU that
Mm-hmm.
has one of the best arenas, I think, in all of college hockey, and we're going to celebrate high school hockey in the championship game. And I wanted to talk to you. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I think that's fantastic. But there's not an NHL team now in Arizona. Hopefully, there will be in the future. I think there will be, but keeping in mind that Austin Matthews, Matthew Nyes, all the number of there was not a they're growing up around that. That's awesome, but now there's that base, and they can look at those players, and whether it's college players or not, and high school might be as far as people go playing ice hockey. You know what? That's not about walking together forever. Those are the friendships and the adversities and the ups and downs that you go through, not only just in games or practices, but certainly in life, and someone to lean on. And hopefully those friendships will last a lifetime for them.
I'll end this with a story about a mutual friend of ours, the late great Tom Curvers,
Mm-hmm.
a Baker winner, Stanley Cup winner, who passed away recently. But Tom and I would talk about hockey just about every day of our lives, and
Mm-hmm.
he started to share with me the story of the biggest loss of his career, and it was the national championship game in Lake Placid.
Mm-hmm.
Overtimes, he had just been named the Hobie Baker winner the day before. 4 overtimes, and they lose to Bowling Green. I think over a 25-year friendship, Ray, I was able to nudge him back to this isn't something to regret now,
Mm-hmm.
something to celebrate. And in the
Right.
end, before Tom died, he got his whole team back together and they sat around and just talked about the game.
Really,
That's what I
that is
I
mhm,
want to see
that
this.
is it. Yeah.
These kids are going to do this at some point down the road,
Mhm.
right? So
Yeah. And
that's
that
why I wanted to talk to you.
No, I think that's great, and certainly those are the memories and those are the friendships, the bonds that win
Yep.
or lose that you're going to have forever, and especially in times like that with Tom and his
Yep.
family had to go through, and certainly with his passing affected many. And um, but again, that the camaraderie is something that you hope for and wish for, and these young student athletes have that opportunity.
Last question I have to know.
Sure.
On the internet, Ray,
Yep.
you Google "win today, walk together forever," the chalkboard appears, right? You've
Oh
seen.
yeah. Yeah.
You have to know, is that an actual photo or is that just an art?
Absolutely. That's my
It
dad's
is.
handwriting. Yes.
You're
Yeah.
kidding.
Yes, absolutely.
I had
100%.
chill.
Yeah, the cursive, right? Yep, that's my dad's handwriting. Yep, yep.
Okay.
Yeah, people have asked me that in the past, and I'm like, no, that's his handwriting. And
Wow.
yeah, oh yeah, and if it's something. And,
No,
um,
I'm glad I asked.
yeah,
Okay.
no, that's good. That clarifies that. That is his
Good.
handwriting.
Okay. Well, Ray, listen, it's a pleasure. You are cordially invited February 1st, Mullett Arena for the championship
Yep, I
game.
got it down.
I know you got connections out here. It's a great
Yep,
time of year. If you happen to
yep,
make your way out, I
yeah.
would see you and shake your hand.
That's awesome. Love to get together too. That's awesome. Thank you so much, Todd. Good luck with it, and good luck to all the participants. And that's going to be fun. I hope I'm there.